Interstate 69, dudes. Yeah, we wrap up our long road down I-69 in this episode. Today we are talking about Texas, I-69 in Texas. There are 3 spurs off of I-69, so it is quite a confusing road and much of it is yet to be built, although lots of construction's in action. I-69 runs from Port Huron, Michigan at the Canadian border down to 3 points at the Mexican border in Texas, although there is a lot to still be built, which we will talk about quite a bit today. Thank you for watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about interstate highways and the places that they are assigned to go to. If you like this kind of content, please give us a like, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Thanks. Alright, first we are going to talk about Southbound I-69, and we will begin here. This is not actually I-69, of course, but this is roughly where it will be entering Texas, so we get a Welcome to Texas sign. Here is the routing of I-69 in Texas, according to Wikipedia. It is still under construction, as you can see, for much of it, although the existing I-59 freeway through Houston will be part of it. This is soon after I-59 would have crossed into Texas. We see the palindrome 96, but we're actually kind of more concerned with 84, which is what we would have been on to this point, and 59, which is the route that much of I-69 will follow, US 59 here, to Nacogdoches. Here in the Nacogdoches loop, we see 59 south for Lufkin and Houston. Now we have a loop that goes around Lufkin, and I imagine this will eventually be I-69. We can see this is US 69 too, so we're getting kind of a Wisconsin or North Carolina problem where we have a US highway and an interstate highway with the same number merged together, which in theory is not supposed to happen. South of Lufkin, we see some construction here on I-69, and here's the first I-69 sign that I could find, and it is very Texas style, a slip ramp onto I-69 itself from a frontage road. Before too long, we end up in the old section of the US 59 freeway, which is also I-69 now through Houston. Here's the exit for the Sam Houston Parkway. On the ring roads, we get 69, 59 south downtown instead of Houston, which makes sense. Downtown's a good call there. We meet I-10, and we are now signed for 69 South Victoria, which I don't love, but it does kind of make sense because that's where the 69 children will begin to split off. Here's a picture I took while driving down this road in downtown Houston. And here's a much better street view of the Houston skyline. As we go down I-69, we pass right by Enron Field. I know that's not its name anymore, but I don't want to slander the current corporate sponsor by associating them with an organization like the Astros. Enron was the better pick there. Here's another one of my pictures. We get 45 meeting up ahead for Galveston and Dallas. And it's a pretty cool scene driving on I-69 in Houston. Lots of cool ramps, lots of cool interchanges all over the place, as one would expect in Texas. Here's another pull-through for 69 South Victoria. Now we meet 610 on the southwestern end of Houston, and we, of course, do not get a control city for 610, as Texas never does that. We meet the Sam Houston Tollway once again, and we're still signed for Victoria. South out of Metro Houston, this seems to be the last exit where it's still actually I-69. We see there's an exit number up there that indicates that it's an interstate. And then we get to the next exit, and there is no exit number sign, and they also have a tarp over it. Just a little south of there, we end up with a South 59 shield. So we are, in fact, on US 59 now, and not I-69, although they are upgrading this road to be I-69. In the Victoria area, we get Business 59 for Victoria, and 59 itself goes on a loop around Victoria. It's signed for Laredo and Corpus Christi. Alright, we're going to look at South 69E here. 77 is actually 69E at this point, so much of 69E will be built on top of US 77, and here's our split. 59 going to Laredo, and 77 going to Corpus Christi. Skipped ahead on 77 to I-37 and the interchange there. We're going to be on South 37 and 77, Corpus Christi and Kingsville. This actually will be a concurrency with 37 and 69, I believe. And they could sign that right now, but they don't yet, at least according to Street View. On I-37, we get our sign for 69 and 77 South, Kingsville, Brownsville, once again. Not sure why Kingsville and not just Brownsville. And here's our split, 37 South Corpus Christi, 69 Kingsville, Brownsville. 69E, rather. On 69E, we immediately change to Robstown and Kingsville. Brownsville goes away. So I don't care for that at all, but I'm guessing this is just old US 77 signage that they haven't bothered to change yet. A little further south, we do see a slip ramp, and 69 is still signed. Doesn't say 69E though, only 69. And south of that, we are now just on 77 south for Kingsville and Brownsville. As we go south on 77, we do see a lot of construction for 69 as they upgrade this road to become an interstate. And they even tell you we get future Interstate Corridor 69 right here on US 77 in southern Texas. 69E respawns further down the road, and we see 69E and 77 and a slip ramp onto this road. Exit 49, so it looks like we've got quite a bit of 69E. They've done more construction on 69E, I think, than any of the other branches. Finally, we meet I-2, the very first road I ever covered. I don't recommend watching my I-2 video, by the way. Exit 26B to West McAllen. Here's I-2 meeting 69E, and we see 69E signed south for Brownsville. North would be Raymondsville and Corpus Christi. We continue south and we get 69E Brownsville. Now we are coming to the Veterans International Bridge, which will cross the Rio Grande. Freeway ends 1/2 mile, and we get some warnings not to bring guns to Mexico. We get a stoplight, so it seems I-69 has ended. However, we get a South 69 shield pointed south beyond this stoplight. So, I don't know, maybe they're just going to have I-69 be a surface street at this point. We've seen it on other roads. We do get to the Mexican border, so here is where we will stop and go back north. Alright, let's take a look at North 69E. Border area, you get a Welcome to Texas sign, which is pretty cool. We're now on North 69E, heading toward I-2 and other things. Here is our exit for I-2, West I-2 McAllen. This is the end of I-2, so there's only one direction for it. And we are on North 69E, 77 Raymondsville, Corpus Christi. Downtown, in this case, they're talking about downtown Harlingen. And further out of the Rio Grande Valley metro area, we are now getting 77 Business as an exit here, and this is still 59. You see that exit number up there. This is pretty interesting. We meet Texas Highway 44, and it is only signed 69 again, and not 69E. North Sinton, Victoria is a bad sign. They should change that to North Victoria, Houston. We meet I-37 once again, and we will get 37 North and 77. So this, again, will be a biplex with I-69 in the future. It will be concurrent here. Now US 77 is splitting for Sinton and Victoria. Once again, I think that should be Victoria and Houston if you're going to sign two places, and if you're going to sign one, just Houston. And we make it back to US 59 in the Victoria area, so we see 59 is signed for Houston, and 77 is signed for Victoria. Alright, now let's take a look at Southbound 69C. Huh? It's a weird one, the central part. We don't just have an E and a W, we have a C. And they never intersect again. We come back to where we started for 69E, and this time we're going to follow 59. This is actually 69W at this point following 59, not 69C yet. 69W will come through here and have an intersection for Alice and Three Rivers, Laredo, straight ahead. Here in George West, we meet Truck 281, which I think is also 281. I don't know why it's Truck 281. And 281 is where we will turn left to go on 69C. If we were to go straight, it would be 69W. Quite a ways down, we get a 69C and South 281 slip ramp. And we will be meeting I-2 here. In the case of 69C, it ends at I-2 instead of I-2 ending at it. And here we have our split with I-2 for Harlingen and McAllen. I do feel like East 2 should be signed for Brownsville. I think that'd be the better way to go, but Harlingen is where it actually ends, so I get that. Now let's take a look at northbound 69C. Here we are on I-2 and we get North 69C Edinburgh. What? It's just another city in the Rio Grande Valley. This should be North 69C Victoria, George West maybe, or Houston preferably, but definitely not Edinburgh. We get a mileage sign, not much of one, Lynn and San Manuel. This is Texas 44 approaching US 281, which will be I-69, and we see it's going to be signed for George West going north, and these other two cities for going south. And we are back in George West, so we're going to get back on US 59. This would be the end of 69C. We will continue north on 69W, and this is where 69W passes I-37. 69W, or US 59, at this point is signed for Beeville. Weird, why not Victoria or Houston? We come back into the Victoria area, so now 59 is signed for Houston, Business 59, and 77 for Victoria. We get on 77 to get around to 59, and here is 77 going to Corpus Christi, or what we will know as 69E in the future. Alright, finally, let's take a look at southbound 69W. We're going to pick up 69W where we left it off in George West at this intersection of 59 and 281. This time we'll be going straight on 59, as that will be upgraded to be 69W. Right away, we get a mileage sign for Laredo, which is awesome. That is definitely what it should be signed for. At this junction, Laredo ahead. And here we approach I-35. I-69W comes into being just a bit before the I-35 intersection, and it does not last long. Right after passing I-35, we get International Bridge 4 to Mexico, or you can turn right to go back to USA. And I showed this on the I-35 video. This is quite a complex over here for 69W. We have this World Trade Bridge with that long loop here for trucks to follow, and then we've got the US Customs coming the other way, and they all merge into 69W. So let's take a look at North 69W. This is right after crossing the border. We get 69W World Trade Bridge if you wanted to turn back the other way, or if we're going straight, you get 69, 59, 35, Laredo, San Antonio. Now we're on 69W and 59 with Laredo signed for 35 along with San Antonio. Here is the North I-35 exit, and we're only on 69W for a very short time before the freeway ends once again. Here's a road connecting with US 59, and we see turn left for George West and Houston, which is what US 59 is doing and what 69W will do as well. And here we are back at US 281 in George West once again. Alright, so we've gone through those three legs. Let's go to northbound coming from Victoria. So we saw this sign before. Here we have US 59 North Houston and 77 North Victoria. Great choice here. And here's our first exit that's actually I-69 after we go through some US 59 stuff, exit 94, just like coming southbound. Here we are in Metro Houston. We get 6959 North Houston and the Sam Houston Tollway. We meet 610, and again, we're signed for downtown. Here's where I actually got off I-69 the one time I was in Houston, right here, 126A Kirby Drive. I came here to the West Alabama Ice House. It was awesome. Beers and tacos. As for 69, it meets I-45, and it is now signed North Cleveland. What? I mean, it is technically correct. If you wanted to go to the Cleveland, this is the fastest way, but this is not a good sign. I know this is a holdover from US 59, but it's just a suburb of Houston. It's not a good sign for a two-digit interstate. Over here, it looks like they've forgotten about I-69 entirely, and we're just on 59 North Cleveland. We get another cool interchange here. I love the way it's cut down a little below grade, and you've got these ramps all over the place. Really cool looking. We meet 10 again, and once again, North 69 Cleveland. And we take a final look at the Houston skyline on our way out of downtown. Meet 610 again. Of course, 610 is not signed for anything. Here we get another slip ramp showing that we are still on I-69, although I-69 ends very soon after this. And in fact, the next exit says 59 Houston Lufkin. So 59 is signed north for Lufkin. When we get to Lufkin, we get now 59 North Nacogdoches as the loop around Lufkin. And we exit the Lufkin loop and we get 59 North Nacogdoches. I wonder if 69 will keep the same city or if it will skip ahead to Texarkana or Shreveport. I haven't even talked about 369, but that will exit somewhere around here and head to Texarkana. Actually, right here is where it will exit at 59 North Texarkana. 369 is going to be right around this area. 59 Business is for downtown Nacogdoches. And now we are going to leave US 59 and continue on 84, which is going to be I-69's rough routing here. I imagine it'll be Shreveport signed here in the future. And we cross back over the river and back into Louisiana, so we get to the end of I-69 in Texas. Alright, let's take a look at Todd's the way it should be for I-69. I-69 is a tough road to figure out in Texas. I'm going to say it should be South Houston. And then Laredo, if you're going on one of the branches, and Corpus Christi, then Brownsville, if you're going on the other branch. As for 69C, I suppose I would go with McAllen. But honestly, I think Texas should pick one to be 69. I don't know how they got away with doing 69C, E, and W, when that's theoretically against the rules for suffixed routes. I'm not sure which one to pick. I guess maybe 69E because it's the most complete and it goes through the biggest market in Brownsville and also goes through Corpus Christi on the way. Although you could make an argument for 69W because it follows the US 59 route and Laredo is the single biggest city. Alright, north on the 69 complex, I would say Corpus Christi if you're on 69E, Houston on any of them, and then Shreveport. Finally, I should probably talk about what it should be for all of I-69. And I'm going to say South Flint, Lansing, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, Memphis, Shreveport, Houston, and then Laredo and all the other places on the branches. Coming north, I would say Houston from any of I-69's starts, then Shreveport, Memphis, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Lansing, Flint, Port Huron, and finally Toronto. Thank you so much for watching Control City Freak. It's been great being with you guys for these 3 episodes about I-69. Wow, our first 3-episode thing. So coming up soon will be I-70. That's going to be awesome, although it might be a day or 2 late because of things, but I will get it to you as soon as possible. Anyway, thank you so much for watching Control City Freak. My name is Todd, and keep on trucking.